As a university student, I rely heavily on the internet every single day. I use it to access learning materials, submit assignments, attend online classes, and search for academic references. For many of us, internet access has become something normal, even essential. But have we ever stopped and asked, what happens to students who do not have the same access? Today, we will explore the reality of education in remote areas of Indonesia. Hello and welcome. My name is Haryoko, a student of Informatics IF 103 at Unsia. You might be seeing me again after quite some time. Well, university life keeps me busy. But today, I'm here to bring an important report about education in Indonesia. Today, we will be discussing education. As a student majoring in informatics, I depend on the internet every day to access academic journals, submit assignments, attend virtual classes, and complete projects. However, that is exactly why I choose this topic. The reality I experience as a university student with stable internet access is very different from the situation faced by many children in remote areas, where access to the teacher, infrastructure, and even internet connection remains limited. This contrast encouraged me to explore this issue more deeply, so that we can view education not only from our own perspective, but also from the perspective of those who are from technological advancement. In today's report, we will examine two different realities, one that reflects serious educational challenge and another that shows how technology is beginning to create positive change. Let us begin with the first report.
Sejak 3 bulan yang lalu, 25 orang murid sekolah dasar Impres Muting Desa Afkap, Makmur, Merauke, Papua terpaksa diajar oleh guru sukarela yang merupakan staf desa dan petugas kesehatan posyandu setempat. Hal ini terjadi karena guru-guru yang ditugaskan di daerah ini tidak pernah lagi datang ke sekolah untuk mengajar. Alasannya tidak diketahui. Staf desa dan petugas kesehatan posyandu yang merasa prihatin dengan kondisi sekolah di kampungnya bersedia mengajar saat diminta oleh kepala sekolah dan kepala desa. Kini, para siswa diajar oleh 3 orang guru, termasuk kepala sekolah. Tidak hanya kekurangan guru, sekolah yang berjarak sekitar 200 km dari kota Merauke ini juga hanya memiliki 3 ruang kelas. Minimnya ruang belajar menyebabkan para siswa dari tingkatan kelas yang berbeda terpaksa belajar secara bersamaan dalam satu ruang kelas. Para orang tua murid di Desa Afkap Makmur berharap agar pemerintah segera menempatkan tenaga pengajar baru di sekolah anak-anak mereka. Warga di Desa Afkap Makmur berharap adanya kesetaraan kualitas pendidikan di kota dan di desa. Minimnya tenaga pendidik menjadi masalah untuk dapat meningkatkan kualitas pendidikan di daerah terpencil. Syarif Jimar, Kompas TV, Merauke, Papua.
After watching this video, I would like to hear an opinion from my college. For the first discussion, I interviewed Mahda Afia, a college of mine who currently lives in the capital city. I choose her because she has experienced relatively stable educational facilities and consistent access to teachers and internet connectivity. Through her perspective, I want to understand how someone from an urban environment views the educational inequality faced by students in Papua. So, after watching this video, let's hear an opinion from my friend. What is your overall response about that video?
Well, I think after watching that video, honestly, the situation is very concerning. Education is like a basic right for us, for everyone. And seeing students attend school without proper teachers shows that there is still a serious gap in educational access. It reflects that some regions are still struggling to receive the same level of support as others, I think.
Okay, what does this case tell us about the distribution of educational resources in Indonesia?
Okay, the distribution of educational resource. It indicates that resources and teachers' distributions remain like uneven. While urban areas may have sufficient staff and facilities, remote regions continue to experience shortage. This imbalance highlights the need for more effective policy implementations.
Okay, question number 3. How might the absence of teachers affect students, academic development, and future opportunities?
While without proper guidance from the teacher, students may struggle to fully understand their lessons. Over time, this could affect their academic performance and reduce their opportunities to pursue higher education or competitive careers and their dreams also.
Okay, last question. What should be prioritized to address this issue?
Well, the most important things to be prioritized is the equal teacher distribution, along with incentives for educators and willing to work in remote areas. Infrastructure improvement and long-term educational planning are also essential about that video, I think.
Okay, thank you for your insight.
My pleasure.
Well, from the interview, Mahda stated that the situation is serious and emphasized that education is a basic right. She explained that the unequal distribution of teachers and resources reflects a significant gap between urban and remote areas. She also mentioned that without proper teachers, students may struggle academically and face limited future opportunities. According to her, equal teacher distribution and better policy implementation should be prioritized. Personally, reflecting on her statement that this situation is very concerning made me realize that educational inequality is not only a regional issue, but a national responsibility. The previous report clearly highlights the serious challenge faced by some remote regions in achieving educational equality. However, while inequality remains evident, there are also promising developments where technology has begun to transform the learning experience. Let us now watch the second video.
Hidup di tengah keterbatasan di Desa Oenoni 1, Kecamatan Amarasi, Kabupaten Kupang, Nusa Tenggara Timur, rupanya tak menyurutkan semangat siswa SMPN 6 Amarasi untuk terus mengejar ilmu. Harapan yang tak pernah padam terus digantungkan setinggi-tingginya oleh para guru dan orang tua siswa agar anak-anak mereka mendapat pendidikan layak untuk bisa memberi penghidupan yang lebih baik. Beruntung, sekolah yang dulunya tak memiliki gedung tetap ini perlahan namun pasti kini sudah mulai terfasilitasi. Bahkan bukan hanya memiliki gedung sendiri, fasilitas internet juga sudah bisa diakses oleh para guru dan murid SMPN 6 Amarasi. Meski dengan segala keterbatasan, menyerah bukan pilihan bagi Hendrik Arnold Mau sebagai kepala sekolah SMPN 6 Amarasi. Ia percaya anak-anak didiknya berhak mendapat pendidikan yang layak. Ia dan para guru-guru lainnya tetap berjuang saat internet belum menjamah sekolah tempatnya mengajar. Kegigihan para guru juga menular kepada anak didiknya. Sejak Kementerian Komunikasi dan Digital merajut konektivitas di desa ini, kehadiran internet semakin menumbuhkan harapan bagi para siswa-siswi di SMPN 6 Amarasi. Mereka percaya internet dapat membantu mereka membuka cakrawala. Tak ada gading yang tak retak. Guru serta siswa SMPN 6 Amarasi percaya jaringan internet yang stabil mesti didukung oleh infrastruktur yang menunjang agar mereka dapat memanfaatkan fasilitas ini dengan maksimal. Harapannya tentu saja supaya para siswa ini tak hanya belajar untuk bermimpi, namun tetap didukung untuk meraih mimpi-mimpi mereka.
After watching this second report, I would like to hear another perspective. For this discussion, I interviewed Bella Aprianti, another colleague of mine who lives in and works in a relatively remote area of Kalimantan. I selected her because she understands firsthand what it feels like to grow up in a region with limited infrastructure. Through her insight, I want to explore how students in similar conditions might feel when internet access become available, as shown in the case of students in Nusa Tenggara Timur. After watching these second videos, I would like to hear another perspective. What is your first impression after seeing how this remote school benefit from internet-based learning?
Um, I saw that technology can significantly improve education quality. With internet access, students can explore knowledge beyond textbooks and gain broader learning experience.
Okay, so how does internet access change the learning experience in remote regions?
It makes learning more interactive and engaging. Students can access digital materials, education video, and online research that expands their understanding and motivation.
Okay, do you think internet-based education can be sustained in the long term?
Um, it can be sustained if supported by reliable infrastructure, proper maintenance, and teacher training. Sustainability depends on consistent commitment and support system.
Okay, last question. What further efforts are needed to ensure equal digital access?
Continue infrastructure expense, especially in treaty region, along with digital literacy program, are necessary to ensure that students not only have access to technology but also know how to use it effectively.
Okay, thank you for your valuable perspective. So, from the second interview, Bella stated that technology can significantly improve educational quality. She explained that internet access allows students in remote areas to explore knowledge beyond textbook and gain broader learning experiences. She also mentioned then that internet-based education can be sustained if supported by reliable infrastructure and proper teacher training. As she emphasized, sustainability depends on consistent commitment and support system. Furthermore, she highlighted the importance of infrastructure expansion and digital literacy programs to ensure equal digital access. Personally, Bella in perspective shows that while challenges remain, technology offers a promising solution to reduce educational inequality, especially in remote and treaty regions. Well, from the two reports and interviews, it is clear that educational inequality in Indonesia appears in contrasting realities. The first case highlights serious gaps in teacher distribution and infrastructure, while the second shows that internet access can significantly improve the educational quality. This case demonstrates that education is strongly influenced by geography, infrastructure, and policy effectiveness. Although progress is possible through digital access, not all regions can immediately benefit from stable internet connection. Therefore, alternative solutions such as offline digital learning systems, including local servers that store educational materials, are essential to support areas with limited connectivity. Improving education requires balance. Internet-based learning supports long-term development, while offline systems provide immediate assistance. Personally, this project has strengthened my awareness that education should never depend on location. Achieving educational equity requires equal teacher distribution, infrastructure improvement, digital expansion, and adaptive offline solution working together. Every student deserves equal opportunities to learn and succeed. This concludes today's special report on education in remote areas of Indonesia. Thank you for watching and reflecting on these important issues. I am Haryoko, and I hope this discussion encourages greater awareness and commitment toward building a more inclusive education system for all. See you in the next report.
Terima kasih untuk para guru yang terus berjuang demi kemajuan bangsa. Tetaplah menjadi teladan demi masa depan Indonesia.